I'll be completely honest with you. I spent a good part of my life thinking that things just happened to me, without me having any control. And maybe you feel that way too, but look, the fact that you stopped watching this video now, I refuse to believe it's just the algorithm. To me, this is a sign, one of those rare moments where the universe snaps its fingers and says, "Hey, pay attention, this is for you." There is an ancient secret guarded by Thoth, that enigmatic figure from Egypt, that speaks of something we carry in our hearts without even knowing it. He called it the monad. It's a divine spark, and what he says about it moves me. Whoever discovers this spark stops being a victim of circumstances, stops being a ship adrift, and takes the helm of their own reality. This has been hidden for so long, perhaps to protect us, or perhaps to test us. But it has reached you today. And in the next few minutes, I don't want to give you a lesson. I want to guide you to activate this power. Because the difference between living by reacting to life's blows or commanding your own universe lies precisely in this secret. Stay here. The truth that Thoth left behind is one of those that shakes the ground beneath our feet, and if you feel deep down that something is about to change, you don't need to use cliches. Go to the comments and tell me from your heart, what brought you here today, or what do you feel needs to awaken in your life? What is in the power of your mind is in the power of your hand. You know, there are moments in life that are like a whisper in the middle of a crowd. A shiver for no reason, an encounter that seems to have been written by a cosmic screenwriter. We learn to call it chance and move on, but what if it isn't? What if they are small nods from a deeper reality trying to get our attention? I've come to believe that we're not just wandering, but being subtly guided. The fact that you're here now might be one of those nods, a silent invitation to finally look behind the curtain of the world. That unease you might feel, that normal life can't just be this, isn't a fantasy. It's a kind of longing, a longing for something we don't even remember losing, but that our soul yearns for. Millennia ago, in Egypt, Thoth was spoken of not as a god, but as a master of wisdom. He taught about a key that didn't open physical doors, but unlocked perception, separating those who are playthings of circumstance from those who learn to be the players themselves. This knowledge was whispered only to hearts already weary of the game of shadows. If you feel this weariness, this searching, then this message has reached you through resonance. It wasn't an algorithm, it was a fine-tuned connection. Something within you, a part of you that transcends your name and your story, vibrated at the same frequency as this truth. That's why this isn't about learning something new, but about allowing yourself to remember a part of yourself that has been forgotten, perhaps because the world was too noisy, or because life's pains made us build high walls around our own sacred center. I like to think that most of us live as if we were watching a movie, suffering and rooting for the character, forgetting that we are sitting in a cinema seat. What Thoth and other wise beings tried to tell us is, hey, you are not the character on the screen. You are the consciousness watching, and more than that, the projector is in your hands. What we are about to do here is not analyze the film that has already played. It is finally to turn on the cinema lights so that you can choose the next reel of film. So what follows is not a lesson, it's a conversation, an attempt to put into words a feeling that can only be truly understood in the silence of your being. Each idea is an invitation for you to feel more than understand with your mind. And I believe that if you are still here, it's because your soul has already said yes to this calling. The awakening process has already begun within you. We just need to have the courage not to look away when the veil begins to lift. This is a journey inward, to the only place where answers truly matter and have the power to transform. But before we talk about how to change the movie of your life, we need to find the screenwriter, the source of everything. We need to look at the fundamental piece we were told didn't exist. The piece that reveals not only where we came from, but what we are in our purest and most indestructible essence, the source of all the power you possess. This forgotten piece of the puzzle, Thoth called it the monad, the unity, the source, and he didn't speak of it as a philosophy, but as a living, pulsating reality. Imagine that the consciousness that dreamed the universe is like an infinite ocean. You, I, every being, is not a separate drop that fell into the ocean, but a temporary wave of the ocean itself. The wave has a form, a fleeting identity, but its substance is the same as the whole. You did not come from the source. You are the source expressing itself as you for an instant. Try to feel this for a moment, beyond logic. Behind all your memories, your fears, your achievements, and your failures, there is a point of absolute silence, a point of pure being. This place within you is untouched. No pain has ever scratched it, no joy has ever inflated it. It simply is, eternal and serene. This is your monad, your immortal essence, your direct and uninterrupted connection to the totality of life. We feel broken, but that's only on the surface of the wave. In the depths, we are whole. And the truth that has been veiled from us is that we are not merely this body that feels pain and pleasure, nor this mind that never stops chattering. These are the tools, the spacesuit that our soul uses to explore this dense dimension. You, the true you, are the astronaut inside the suit, the silent guardian of that inner flame, a living bridge between the infinite and the finite. We search for God in temples and heavens, but He is closer than our own breath, for He is breath itself. This spark is not passive. It is the silent conductor of your body's orchestra. It is the intelligence that knows how to transform food into life, how to heal a wound without you needing to give orders. It is the voice of intuition, that knowing that springs from silence, not from books. It is the force that makes us seek beauty, love, and a meaning for existence. The great secret is that if we learn to align ourselves with this intelligence, it can help us rewrite the patterns that make us suffer. I know that feeling this intelligence is incredible, but learning to use this strength amidst the problems of daily life is the real challenge. It's no use having the key in your pocket if you don't know how to open the door. So that you don't just stay in theory, I created the Monad Code, a practical guide that teaches you exactly how to turn that key and activate your creative power whenever you need it. Access is already available in the first pinned comment. But what I find most fascinating is seeing modern science, so skeptical, arriving at the same door by a different path. They speak of quantum fields, of biophotons, of how meditation alters the structure of the brain. They are, unknowingly, describing the mechanics of the monad. They are mapping how your consciousness, that spark, interacts with matter and convinces it to organize itself in new and more harmonious ways. They are proving in the laboratory the magic that the ancients knew through pure introspection. Accepting that you carry this divinity within you is not an act of ego, but of profound humility and responsibility. It is recognizing that we are part of something sacred. It is the first step to ceasing to be an effect of circumstances and becoming a conscious cause. But it is not enough to know that the key exists in your pocket. You need to learn how to turn it in the lock. And the master key is our own consciousness, our attention. The way we use it opens the door to a prison or to a garden. The secret of the observer who creates reality. When we talk about attention, we touch on a mystery that science calls the observer effect. In experiments, the fundamental particles of our world behave as pure possibility, a cloud of maybes, until someone decides to measure, to observe. At that instant, the cloud condenses into a single reality, a this. It's as if the universe were in a dream state, waiting for our consciousness to touch it and awaken it. The act of looking is not passive. It is an act of creation. Your attention is the chisel that sculpts reality. Now, bring this into your life with gentle honesty. If your existence feels like a broken record, repeating the same tune of scarcity, loneliness, or illness, it's because your inner observer has become addicted to staring at that scratch. We wake up, and the first thing our consciousness does is look for the same old problems, to make sure they're still there. And by focusing on them, we recreate them. We give them our vital energy, our attention, and they flourish in our daily experience. The first act of freedom, then, is an act of rebellion against attention. It is deliberately choosing to look away, not to deny the problem, but to stop feeding it with your energy. It's like having a weed in your garden. You don't need to fight it, to angrily pull it out. You just need to stop watering it and start watering the flowers you want to grow. Where your attention goes, your vital energy flows and life manifests. You are always watering something. The question is, what? You are not a mere spectator in this cosmic theater. You are a co-creator of the script. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you allow to settle in your heart, is a clear instruction you are sending to the quantum field. Most of us do this on autopilot, and that's why life seems so random and out of control. Awakening is simply bringing awareness to this process. It's taking the remote control of your attention and consciously choosing the channel you want to watch. But where does this instruction lead? What is this field that so readily obeys our focus? The answer to this question leads us to the heart of existence, to a place of power and mystery. Thoth called it the universal mind. Science, the zero-point field. Different names for the same thing, the substance from which dreams and realities are woven. Understanding the nature of this field is what allows us to stop merely reacting to life and begin composing our own symphony. This field with which we interact is the strangest and most wonderful thing imaginable. What appears to be an empty space between things is actually the most crowded thing that exists. Science describes it as an ocean of vibrant energy, a sea of infinite potential that connects everything that exists. It is the raw material of all things, the cosmic clay waiting for the potter's hands, waiting for a form, for a clear instruction to manifest itself. It is the blank canvas of the universe. Ancient mystics, like Thoth, saw more than just energy in this field. They sensed a vast and unfathomable intelligence, as if it were the very mind of God. For them, everything that exists, a stone, a star, a fleeting thought, was merely a ripple, a modification in this primordial mind. And their monad, their divine spark, is not outside of it. It is a focal point within this mind, a conscious vortex with the power to create its own ripples in the tapestry of reality. Imagine that your monad is a point of absolute silence and power, and from that silence it chooses. It decides which of the infinite possibilities around it will become your life experience. It's like a sound sculptor choosing which frequencies of silence to amplify to create a unique and unrepeatable melody. Your life is that melody. And you, in your essence, are the silent sculptor. We become confused with the music, but we are the silence from which it is born and to which it returns. This leads us to a profoundly liberating truth. Nothing is truly as solid as it seems. Everything is energy and information vibrating at a specific frequency. And what keeps this vibration stable, giving the illusion of solidity, is consciousness. Your consciousness. You are not separate from the field, you are the lens through which the monad focuses the energy of the universe and transforms it into your personal reality. The world doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. It is a mirror of your state of being. When this understanding sinks deep into your heart, the feeling of being a victim of circumstances simply dissolves. We understand that the external world is a relentless reflection of our internal world. If there is chaos within, there will be chaos outside. If we cultivate peace within, peace will flourish around us like a garden. We stop trying to change the reflection and begin to care for the face. But how does this communication happen? How does our consciousness speak to the field? The answer lies in the most advanced technology that exists, your body. Your body, the quantum antenna you need to cleanse. Your connection to the energy field is not an abstract idea. It's a concrete biological process. Your body is a quantum antenna of unimaginable sophistication. Science is discovering that our DNA is surrounded by water molecules that organize themselves like a liquid crystal, with an impressive capacity to receive, store, and transmit information, and that our cells communicate through a subtle light, biophotons. We are literally liquid crystal antennas that emit and receive light. That is why ancient masters, like Thoth, placed so much importance on purification. But it wasn't a moral concept, but a vibrational one, a matter of physics. They knew that low-frequency emotions like chronic fear, repressed anger, and persistent guilt act like static in a communication system. They disrupt the crystalline structure of the water in our bodies and create noise in our internal light network, preventing the clear signal from our monad from being transmitted cleanly. Think about it practically. You can try to visualize "I am prosperous," but if your body is tense, if your muscles retain the memory of financial stress, and your nervous system is on high alert, the message you're actually sending is contradictory. It's a message of "I want abundance," but with a very loud background noise of "I am in danger, there is scarcity." And the universe, which responds to the dominant and coherent vibration, ends up manifesting more situations of danger and scarcity. Activating the power of the monad, therefore, inevitably involves cleaning the hardware, purifying our biological antenna. This means, yes, taking care of our diet and sleep, but even more crucially, it means doing an emotional cleansing. Learning to feel and release trapped emotions, to forgive what needs to be forgiven, to question the beliefs that keep us in a constant state of survival mode. True transformation begins in our sacred biology. When we clear away the noise, the antenna becomes powerful and the signal crystal clear. Only then are we ready to transmit a clear command to the universe. But this transmission is not done with the brute force of the mind or will. It requires a specific language, a form of communication that the universe understands without the need for filters or translators, the language of feeling and certainty. Learning to speak this language is what separates those who merely wish from those who truly manifest the reality they choose. We have been taught to place ourselves in a position of inferiority before life, to ask, to plead. But the act of asking, in its essence, is born from the perception of lack. It is an energetic declaration that I do not have, and the universe, being a perfect mirror, reflects this lack back to us. The language of creation, the language that the monad speaks, is not that of need. It is that of certainty. It does not understand our words of supplication, but it perfectly reads our vibrational frequency, our state of being. The frequency of certainty is that of union, of recognizing that what we seek is already ours in the field of infinite potential. Desiring something keeps it in the future, separate from us. To have certainty is to feel deep in our bones that it is already a vibrational reality, and that our only job is to allow it to solidify in our experience. The universe doesn't give us what we want with our minds. It gives us what we already are in our hearts, in our deepest vibration. That is why ancient texts use the word command. It is not an authoritarian command from the ego, but a command that arises from stillness and alignment with the source. It is when you stop fighting and simply align yourself with the truth that you and the all are one. You are not imposing your will, you are choosing a potential that already exists and saying a resonant yes to it. It is an act of conscious permission, not of brute force or mental effort. Consider the difference in energy. Asking is a weak signal, dissipating like a ripple on the surface of a lake. Commanding from the certainty of your monad, however, is to create a silent and powerful vortex at the bottom of that same lake. This vortex has a magnetic pull that begins to attract everything necessary for your intention to materialize. The people, the ideas, the coincidences, directly into its orbit. You stop chasing butterflies and become the garden. This summoning is done through feeling. Before having something in the physical world, you need to feel what it's like to already have it. It's not about pretending, but about a deliberate act of creation, a sacred imagination. By generating the feeling of gratitude for something your mind says hasn't yet arrived, you are emitting the exact vibrational signature of that reality. You are tuning your antenna to the frequency of your already fulfilled desire, and the universe, by law, has to play that music for you. But where does this authority to command come from? Where is this point of power from which the summoning is done with such effectiveness? It's not in the mind, which always doubts. It's not in the emotional heart, which is easily agitated. It's in a much deeper place, a point of absolute silence at the center of your being. Accessing this sacred place is what will take us to the next and most impactful level of this journey of self-discovery. The uniqueness within you, the center of your reality. Modern science tells us of singularities at the heart of black holes, points of infinite density where the laws of time and space as we know them break down. The truth that Thoth bequeathed to us, and which may seem shocking, is that each of us carries an exactly identical singularity within ourselves. It is the throne of the monad. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is a real energetic portal, a point of absolute stillness from which everything you experience is projected. The deepest revelation is, you are not in the universe is in you. Everything you call external reality is a holographic projection emanating from within your own singularity. You are the projector. The world is the screen. The people and events in your life, whether happy or painful, are reflections of energy and information patterns that exist in your deepest core. Those who don't know this live like prisoners within their own film, reacting emotionally to the scenes they themselves are projecting, believing that the world is something separate and often hostile. Finding your way back to that inner uniqueness is the true meaning of returning home. It's about ceasing to be frightened by the shadows on the wall of Plato's cave and turning to face the fire that projects them. It's about going straight to the cause instead of spending your whole life fighting the effects. When you learn to operate from that center, you stop trying to clean the reflection in the mirror and start taking care of your face. You assume your power as the artist of your life. And how do you get there? Through the path of silence, through the practice of presence. It is in the space between one thought and another, in the silent interval between one breath and the next, that you can touch that sacred place. It is not something that is done with effort. It is something that is achieved through surrender. It is a state of being, and when you issue a command from that center of peace, it is no longer an effort. It is a natural emanation, like the perfume of a flower. From this throne of stillness, this center of power, something that seems like magic becomes possible. You gain the ability to influence the very flow of time.
And now, as this transmission comes to a close, understand this clearly. The monad was never something you needed to find. It was never hidden from you. It was waiting for the moment you were ready to remember. Thoth did not reveal the monad as a concept. He revealed it as a responsibility. Because once you know the truth, you can no longer live unconsciously. You can no longer blame fate, the world, or time itself. The monad awakens the moment you realize that the observer and the creator are the same. This is why most people are never taught this, not because it is forbidden, but because it dissolves control, hierarchy, and illusion. The monad is the silent core within you that does not fear loss, does not chase validation, and does not need permission to exist. When you align with it, reality stops resisting you. Patterns break, old cycles collapse, and suddenly, life responds differently. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Thoth warned that this knowledge should not be rushed, because the monad does not amplify desire, it amplifies truth. And truth is uncomfortable to the unprepared mind. If this message found you, it was not accidental. You are living in a moment where remembrance matters more than belief, where inner alignment outweighs outer effort, and where silence becomes louder than noise. So don't chase signs, don't wait for confirmation, and don't ask if you are worthy. The monad does not activate when you try harder. It activates when you return to what you've always been. This is not the end of the message. This is the point where your awareness takes over. And from this moment forward, observe your thoughts, your reactions, and your choices carefully. Because once the monad is remembered, nothing in your life remains unconscious again.